We're finally leaving Gibraltar. We have been here for almost 2 months. We'll be having a good time, but it is time to continue sailing into the Mediterranean, finally. We're at the gateway, we're at the doorstep, and we are heading east. Everyone on board is determined to make it to Mallorca. So it's about 400 miles away, but the wind is coming out of the east, even though it's a little bit light. So we're gonna be tacking for a week. And it's Maya's first sail.
How often have you sailed before this trip?
That would be never.
So Maya's first sail is going to be a 6-day.
700 miles to windward.
No time like the present.
Yeah, you excited?
Yeah.
How much do you know so far?
I got a safety briefing, which really sunk in.
Uh-huh.
It did, by the way.
Okay.
And port, starboard.
You'll be fine.
Done. That's all you need to know.
I'm just excited to be sailing again.
It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. I know on camera it doesn't feel like a long time, but we've been here for almost, 7 weeks?
2 months.
Yeah, that's insane. And yeah, we just got some fishing gear because we've got inspired by that 280 kilo tuna that our neighbor caught the other day. And then, so Dan went to the fishing store and all these fishermen gave them all sorts of lures. We have lures way too big for this boat that we might not have space to even put the fish on the boat, but we'll try to be better fishermen now. Because we've always tried to fish, but we never caught anything.
We're excited to finally get and sail into the Med because there's no tide, there's no current, there's hardly any swell. We are going to windward, but it's going to be like 10 knots maybe, gusting to 15, so it should be flat sails and flat seas for 5 to 7 days, and we're pretty excited for that. And it's warm, and we've got fishing gear, and we've got more food than we had for our North Atlantic crossing.
Woo!
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good sail. I'm excited. We might actually get 6-hour sleeps with 3-hour watches because we have 3 people on board now. So I'm ready to rock and roll. Boat's ready to go. You guys look ready to go.
Let's do this.
Flick some switches and sail some bitches.
That's what I'm saying now, by the way.
We only had one other person sail with us for more than a day.
Do you feel special?
I do, actually.
Yeah. You're the second person, and you're probably the first person who's never sailed before to sail with us for more than a day.
Okay.
So it's gonna be very interesting.
Just get ready to flick it off. Clean everything up? Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. If it's this gusty, we'll put the first 3. Just hit mode, you'll see that 260 is going to change.
So we are about 10 minutes into our passage, and Maya is making her first meal?
Tea.
Maya is making tea. She's using the alcohol stove for the first time. And how is it so far?
I'm not sure I'm going to be very good at this. It's different than on land.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Because land doesn't move so much.
It's like cooking in an earthquake.
It doesn't feel dangerous, it just feels very hard. Like, I'm not worried about spilling boiling water on me. I can see that's not going to happen, but it's still like nothing is natural.
Yeah.
All of my reflexes are like, what's happening?
It's like, what do you mean you have to do yoga and cook at the same time?
Oh.
It'll be fun though. Whatever's cooking is not going to go anywhere because the stove is gimbaled and the food is just going to
I mean, that's
cooking.
like, having that off of the plate of concern is awesome.
Yeah. But it's about like, what do you do after when you take the boiling water off of the plate and you need to put it down?
I do that shit over the
And
sink.
yeah, you do over the sink, or you put it in a place that it's not gonna slide. And yeah.
It's like surfing. Makes ukatasana really easy. I recognize what were overconfident thoughts about cooking on a boat now.
Cooking during an earthquake, when your whole house moves. I don't know. I've never cooked during an earthquake. No, it is quite interesting, cooking offshore. It's a challenge for sure. To stay balanced and to not burn yourself. Oh, this is gonna be beautiful. We're starting to clear Europa Point now, so the wind's starting to smooth out a bit. It was very gusty sailing in around the ships. We were kind of like becalmed and then like boom, 20 knots of wind. So it's been fun. But yeah, we're gonna be tacking for 7 days.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 if we have good wind. Probably 7. Should be a good time.
Oh, what an amazing farewell from Gibraltar. We have more than a dozen dolphins just swimming along with us. I can't remember when was the last time we had dolphins stick around. And there's more coming too. Look at that. That's absolutely amazing. And they're just right off the bow, just doing their thing. And Maya's enjoying it. I feel like Maya's about to cry.
I did cry already.
Did you already?
Well, the dolphins have left, which means I'm gonna put a lure in the water and try out my new fishing pole, which is the biggest fishing rod I've ever owned in my entire life. But the problem is the freezer's full and the fridge is full, so if you catch anything, hopefully it'll be small and we'll just make some ceviche and eat it for lunch.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Boy.
Look at the size of that thing. Kind of weird and kind of cool to have like proper fishing gear on board. We've had the little yellow rod for a while now and it's great for catching cod, but it's kind of small and kind of light to catch like bigger game fish out in the ocean. So we finally picked up like a proper fishing rod and some proper fishing lures and rod holders, which is the big one. So we don't have to like cleat the line around a cleat anymore. So yeah, we'll see. I'll put out like sort of a medium-sized lure and see if we can catch a medium-sized fish. Let's see what we got. I can put this fancy thing out on the big rod. This is like this is a pretty one. Look at that pretty one. That's like a flying fish. I'll put that out on the big rod. You can catch like a great white whale on that thing. The guy at the marine store gave me this because they're like, no, you can catch a marlin. I'm like, if I catch a marlin that big, I'm gonna shit my pants first. All right, we are gonna start with the prettiest lure. Looks like a flying fish, has a spoon on the front, so it'll maybe go down a little bit deeper. We're gonna call this one the Flying Dutchman. I made a little bit of a wire leader for it so that if there's teeth involved, we won't necessarily lose it. And
Yeah.
fire away, I guess. Be free, little fishy, be free. I'm gonna send him pretty far back.
Yeah.
Because I can. I guess we'll see how that goes. Never had such a big fishing rod in Rio. Look at the size of this handle. It's like a gear shifter for a truck. I'm kind of excited though. I want to catch fish. I like eating fish. We've just been bad at it for the last 7 years.
guys, it is just close to being 10 o'clock at night, and the sun just went down, and it was pretty cool. The seas are as calm as it was all day. There's a little bit less wind now, and I'm just hoping that it's not gonna completely die down throughout the night, but so far so good. It's blowing about 10 knots and we're cruising at 4. Maya and Den are asleep. Actually, I think Den just woke up. I hope I wasn't talking too loudly. I'm about to go off watch and sleep for a little bit, and then Den is gonna take most of the night, and then I'll wake back up for sunrise. It's been a very long time since we've had such an enjoyable sail. And like, it definitely has been a long time since we've enjoyed a sail hanging out in the cockpit, because this is great.
Well, it is just past midnight and the moon is rising. The other crazy thing that I just noticed is off on the horizon, on one of the mountaintops on Spain, you can actually see a bit of a forest fire raging because it's incredibly hot and dry, and there's some forest fires going on in Spain and Portugal right now. You can actually see one through the binoculars. The camera barely picks it up, but it's a little bit ominous. It's the same color as the moon. We are still sailing along, still going to windward, still tacking back and forth, trying not to get run over by any of the hundreds of ships out here. The wind just picked up a little bit, so sailing 5.5 knots now, which is pretty nice. A few more hours, I'll wake Kika up and she'll get sunrise. Other than that, it's a pretty chill and comfortable sail. And just like that, the sun's starting to come up. First night down. 3 to 5 more to go. Pretty uneventful night, actually. There's a lot of ships out here, but they all kept a distance, which was nice. Everything's wet, but it was relatively warm last night, which was nice. I'm gonna go retrieve Kika from the V-berth, and she can watch the sunrise.
Good morning, beautiful people. As you can tell, the sun is rising behind me. It is an absolute gorgeous morning. The seas are flat, sails are flat, and we're just cruising along. But here's one thing I was not expecting. There's a 2-knot current with us. Our speed through the water is 5.5 knots, and our speed over ground is almost 8 knots. And it's just, I was not expecting a 2-knot current inside the med, that's for sure. Den just went down to sleep. I'm taking the sunrise, and in a few hours, I think in about 2 hours, we're gonna put a tack in, and then we're gonna try to stay kind of in the center between the African coast and the Spanish coast, just because there's more wind here. Towards closest to the coast, the wind dies a little bit, so we're gonna aim to tack every couple of hours just in the middle of the med. And yeah, and hopefully maybe tomorrow we'll throw one more tack and we'll beam reach all the way to Mallorca. So that's cool. But I'm just enjoying this beautiful day and just chilling. I don't hold on to the boat, I will swing uncontrollably. But considering how freaking amazing this sail is, this is crazy.
We're almost heading in the right direction too.
Yeah, I think we'll probably throw 2 more tacks in. Hopefully we'll be pointing straight at Ibiza or Mallorca. And we'll be there in 4 days. I think, honestly, we've been through seas like this before, and then this is kind of what we call flat seas and flat sails, where there's absolutely no waves and we're pointing into the wind so the sails are flat. But this is probably the very first time that we've done it for almost 2 days now. Like, the wind has not shifted, the waves has not increased, and it's just the same point of sail. It's just been this. And it's probably going to be the same thing for the next 3 days. So, and it's Maya's first sail. Are you liking it? Great, right? I'm glad you didn't visit when we were in Norway. It would have been a very different experience. But this is nice.
It's just a corpse shrouded in black and wrapped in a mummified.
That's all I can do.
Well, she got to protect the body from the elements while enjoying the elements. Totally agree. And I'm providing her a bit of shade.
Well, good morning, everybody. Sun's about to come up. It's 6:30 in the morning, and as you can see, the sails are down. I have been slowly motoring most of the night because the wind is pretty much gone. We had like 2 to 3 knots of wind most of last night. So the batteries are now at 55%. Motored for about 12, 15 miles or so, just slowly chugging along. The problem is we had about a 1-knot current against us. I was really expecting there to be no current in the Med. Everyone told us there was no tide, no current, but we've seen 2.5 knots of current against us, 2 knots with us, and sometimes there's a 1/2 knot to 1 knot against us. It kind of spirals and it's very inconsistent, but we're at 55%, so it looks like we're gonna need to run the generator until the wind fills in. The girls are still asleep, and that's probably gonna wake them up. My 6 hours is up, so it's about time to keep it awake up anyway. And hopefully the wind fills back in soon. The forecast is light and variable. It has been a depressingly slow sail these past 24 hours. I think, I'm about to tell you, but I think we've managed to sail maybe like 40 miles. We've been zigzagging around and trying to catch every bit of wind, and it is just painfully slow. We already did that one. We are at 10, 20, 30, about 47 nautical miles in 24 hours. Normally we'd be going faster, but there's like these short, choppy, like 1/2 meter waves coming at us really close together. And so we've had enough wind to sail. If it was flat calm, it would be like 2.5 to 3 knots. But with this choppy waves and current against us, we've only been averaging like 1.5 knots in the right direction all night. So Yeah, it's been a pretty slow 24 hours, but it's pretty calm and sunny, so we're not really complaining, I don't think. And we are moving in the right direction. So we are still just over 300 miles away from Majorca. But once we make it around this Punta de Gata, then the wind should fill in a little bit more and we should have more consistent wind and we'll be sailing a bit quicker, even though we might still be tacking a little bit. And also up by Cartagena and further north, the coast becomes like more interesting and there's more places to anchor and explore. So we're getting close to kind of, I would say, the halfway point, but definitely past the nowhere to stop point. They're all just like tiny little stone marinas on the corner of nothing. So if we don't make it all the way to Ibiza or Majorca, we still have plenty of cool places to explore along the coast of Spain. But I am calling it. I've been up all night, and now Kika's gonna take over and try to keep the boat moving for the next couple hours while I get some sleep. Have fun with that.
Sit rep. Well, a bit of a course adjustment. 20 miles in front of us is mainland Spain, and so we decided to go towards that land and anchor for the next couple of days, probably the next 2 days, because the wind is the wind has increased just a little bit, which is not bad. I mean, more wind is good, but the waves are very short and choppy, so it just kills our speed every single time we bounce on it, and it's just uncomfortable. And the wind is just supposed to be completely dead tomorrow, and then exactly the same as it is today afterwards. So instead of trying to push all the way to Ibiza or Mallorca, we're going to stop for a few days and just enjoy life at anchor, and then pick it back up where we left off when the wind is better. So that is the plan.
I think I like that plan, actually.
I do too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the waves are just so short. Like we fell off to 55 degrees and now we're sailing at 5.5 knots. But when we were sailing close reach, we were sailing like 2 knots because we were just getting like slammed and slammed and slammed. And then like the whole boat was getting wet. I got wet in the V-berth trying to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sad about that. The whole V-berth got wet. I was sleeping with the hatch open, which was a bad idea.
We need to dry everything out.
But yeah, Kika said it's 20 miles away, so we should be there before sunset. And hopefully the anchorage is calm enough we can anchor, because it's kind of exposed. We'll see when we get there.
All the waves that are here are all wind-driven waves. So as long as the wind dies, for one, the anchorage we're aiming at looks like it's well protected for the most part. But even if, like, I don't think there will be any swell wrapping around because there's no Atlantic swells. It's just wind. And if the wind is dead, shouldn't be any waves. That's kind of what we're hoping for. Yeah. But so far so good though. On the plus side, it's sunny, it's warm, and we're what, halfway ish between Gibraltar and Mallorca.
Sure.
So it's a good time to stop and reset our batteries.
They're all blue. That one. Yeah. The black line. And it basically downwind or going down. You'll see the flag and flag.
Yep.
We have arrived. We're about a quarter of a mile off the beach in 5 meters of water. It's calm enough and not windy enough. It's a pretty calm anchorage. I think it's gonna be a good place to spend the next day or two until the wind fills back in.
It's nice.
You glad we stopped?
Yeah, I'm really happy we stopped. I mean, tomorrow the wind is gonna die entirely, and we had the choice whether we wanted to bob around out there or enjoy a day at anchor. So might as well be at anchor for a day or two, and then
Agreed.
we'll continue. And who knows, maybe the wind's gonna shift in our favor by the time we leave this anchorage.
Agreed.
Wouldn't that be nice? But in the meantime, we're enjoying this beautiful little speck of beach.
12-mile long beach.
Yeah.
How will we choose a spot
I
tomorrow?
know. There's a couple boats anchored out there. And the water is like really clear
And warm.
and warm. We should jump in before.
I'm definitely going to.
Yes.
What you got, chef?
We're gonna have shrimp tacos. And I'm making a mango avocado salsa. Or at least I'll attempt to. So far it's going well. Particularly because I can walk.
How's it feel to be standing upright for the first time in 3 days?
So refreshing.
Nice.
Does it feel weird to not put your foot at an angle to kind of like hold on your balance?
No, it feels like everything I've ever dreamed of.
Have you tried it yet?
No.
Eat some.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for chocolate tonight.
It's very sailing boat.
Yeah.
We can choose with water, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's totally a thing.
Cheers.
After 3 days like that, it's totally a thing.